I need water. That's what I need. That's what I need. That's what I need. All right. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video is going to be a quick one, but I'm just talking about 5 things that I wish that I knew before I started my weight loss journey. So if you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And let's get started. So if you guys don't know, I have been on a weight loss and maintenance journey now for 3 years and a couple months. I started back in April of 2020, and I just signed up with WW. It was kind of a fluke thing. I didn't plan for it. It was one night I had just been on my phone and I saw someone who had lost weight using Weight Watchers. I looked into it, found that they had just a digital app version, and asked my husband if he wanted to sign up as well because he also wanted to lose weight. We signed up the next morning and we have been tracking with WW since then. So these are just some of the things that I wish I knew before I started my journey of losing 70 pounds, because it's definitely been such a learning experience. I have had to completely change the way I think about things. I've had to switch my lifestyle around and really think about things differently to have success with this healthier lifestyle. So the first thing that I want to talk about that I wish I knew before I started was what was going to motivate me on my weight loss. Because one thing that I feel like always caused me to just not have success with losing weight was my motivation behind it and my reasoning behind why I was losing weight. For so long, I just wanted to look better. I wanted to have a flat stomach. I wanted to look like other people. And that was all it was. I just wanted to look like other people. I just wanted to be thin. I wanted to lose weight. Like, those were the only things that were motivating me, because it was what other people thought. I wanted other people to think better of me. Like, it was just that. And this time around, I completely changed my way of thinking because it became a little bit more of a health scare, and I just stopped trying to think about what others thought. Like, it almost became like, okay, this needs to be about me now, and I don't really care that much about how I look when it comes to compared to like my health. Like, I just needed to stop worrying so much about how I looked. And all I can remember just like growing up and everything is just always thinking that if I just like looked better, it would motivate me. If I looked, and by better, I just meant like if I lost weight. Like, I just thought that if I lost weight, I would feel better and everything would just be fixed. And I don't know, I just focused so much on it being about my looks. So as I started my weight loss journey, honestly, 1 week in, I could not believe how much better I felt after just 1 week. And prior to that, it was to the point where I was getting fast food takeout 1 to 2 times a day. So when I started WW, I kind of had cut that out and started focusing on portion control and stuff and really eating better fueling foods. And it was amazing how much of a difference it was from just 1 week of trying this. And that motivated me more than I ever knew it could. Like, that has been what's motivated me my entire journey, and what's kept me going is how good I feel when I take care of myself, when I eat healthy, when I nourish myself, when I eat enough, when I drink enough water, when I get enough sleep, when I exercise and move my body in ways that I enjoy. Those things make me feel amazing. They genuinely make me feel good. And before, I thought that what would make me feel good was how I looked in the mirror. Learning that that's what was going to motivate me and that's what's going to help me have a sustainable lifestyle was huge for me, and it completely changed my life. And I'm not gonna lie, it does feel so good to put clothing on and look in the mirror and have confidence in how it looks on me and how it feels, but that is not at all what keeps me motivated. It really is not, and I couldn't be more genuine about that. It is how I feel, because it even comes down to it now where we have an option to even eat like a higher point indulgent meal or something, and I just don't want to feel the way I used to, or even like indulging in alcohol. I don't want to feel the way that I used to when I did that, and I just didn't care about myself and my body. And so it has come down to how I feel that motivates me versus how I look. And that was something I never expected. My entire life, I always thought that if I could just lose weight, it would make me happy with how I looked, and that's what would keep me going. And it has not been that at all. It has been like a little bonus. Yeah, it feels good to feel better in my clothes, but honestly, the biggest thing has been being able to be active the way I want to be and to just feel better all around. Now, moving on to the next one, which kind of, I feel like contradicts what I just said, but not really, because it's kind of going against what I just said, but not really. And I just need to explain it, but it is, I didn't know that I would have more body dysmorphia as I lost weight. And that was something that was kind of shocking to me, because honestly, at my heaviest, it had gotten to the point where I just didn't care. Like I had such a mindset of like not caring about myself and my body and just like covering myself up all the time. I didn't want to care. Then as I started losing weight and started focusing on every little thing, I would feel better about how I looked, but at the same time, I was noticing every little part of me. I felt like I was looking in the mirror a lot. I was checking out my stomach and my legs and just every part of me, my arms. I was so self-conscious about my loose skin that I was developing as I was losing weight. And I started to develop so many tendencies of just body dysmorphia, and it really got to me way more than I ever expected. And I think part of it is sharing myself online and posting pictures and seeing how other people are treated when they post pictures and stuff. And honestly, just having kind of a fear of that and what other people think. But a lot of the body dysmorphia more came from like myself and how I viewed myself. And I would think that I looked bigger than I was at the time. And I don't know, it was just a whole new mental game that I had to kind of work through. And again, start to realize that this is to feel better. This is to be stronger. It really, really doesn't matter every little detail on my body. Nobody's looking at it. It's just me. And it was just something new I had to deal with. So I kind of wish going into weight loss, and I feel like a lot of people say this, that they start to have more body dysmorphia after they lost weight than when they were bigger and like even more self-conscious about their weight. It kind of doesn't make sense, but it does at the same time. So I started to become really focused on it, and there was a point in my journey, and I feel like it was like the first winter of my first year of weight loss, that I was really struggling, just kind of picking apart every part of me and feeling like I wasn't doing good enough, and something that I really hadn't experienced because, like I said, at my heavier weight, I wasn't as hard on myself about my body because I just kind of gave up. And so it was just a whole nother mental game that I had to deal with going through weight loss. Okay, the next thing that I wish I knew before I started my weight loss journey is specifically with Weight Watchers, and that is to use my weeklies. So when I first signed up and I heard about the weekly bank, I kind of thought that was just like bonus, like you didn't really have to use those points and you shouldn't use them. Like I thought that you would actually lose weight if you didn't use them. And so for the first couple weeks, I was too scared to use my weeklies. And I feel like, again, so many people say this, but then I started to realize like, okay, I kind of want to eat more. I don't want to restrict. I want to feel like I'm eating more and more nourishing foods. And I don't know, if I like lost all the weight not eating enough, then I'd have to maintain the weight not eating enough is kind of the mentality I had. So I was like, I might as well take advantage of all the points that I have. So I started to eat my weekly points and very quickly noticed that it actually helped me to lose more weight. So the weeks that I would use all my weeklies were always my best weigh-in weeks. I don't know if it was just a coincidence, but I think that I was just really nourishing my body, and it was just what worked for me was to use my weeklies. And I hear a lot of people that have success when they do. One thing specific though that I think worked best for me with using my weeklies was that I like to use them on different snacks that I like. I like to use them on protein bars, on nuts, on peanut butter spread, like different higher point things that I still want to eat, but I don't think I'd have enough dailies to incorporate them all the time. And so that's what the weekly bank is for. So instead of having just like one crazy cheat meal that I use all my weeklies on, which sometimes I go to sushi and I have to use a bunch of weeklies at once, or we go out and get burgers and I have to use a bunch at once. So I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I made it kind of a focus to space them out each day and use them on some snacks and stuff like that. So I just always felt more and more satisfied, and then I would have more success the weeks that I would eat my weeklies. Okay, the next thing that I wish I knew before starting my weight loss journey is that it is very easy to get burned out of things, and it's very important to switch things up. So I learned pretty quickly in the beginning that, first of all, especially when you're on WW and you find like low point things, it's exciting. And especially when there's like trending low point things within like the WW community, and it becomes such a thing. And I would do that and get so burned out of stuff. So even like blackened chicken from Tyson, which I still love that chicken, but I burned myself out of that so quickly. Honestly, I feel like you could just look through my content and see like the different thing. I kind of go through phases, but I always have something new to mix things up, and that helps so much to stay on track, because getting bored and feeling like it's just boring and repetitive, sometimes that can be hard to stay consistent with, because I don't know, it's boring and you don't want to do it. You don't have something to look forward to. And so I have learned along the way to really make it fun, to really mix it up. And whether that is just a few different ingredients every once in a while, trying to mix up my shopping list, trying to add a new recipe each week that's just a simple recipe, just so that I'm trying something new, but not like a whole new week of recipes. Like, it's not anything overwhelming. It's just one new thing, and then it's maybe something we get fixated on and then we start making it a bunch. But even then, like 2-ingredient pizza bakes, we started eating those a ton, and then I just started coming up with a bunch of different ways to make them. Same with bowls, same with wraps. So different things like that. There have been so many ways to mix it up, and learning how to have variety and keep things interesting makes the journey so much more sustainable. It makes it more enjoyable, and that's just what has helped me so much. In the beginning, I didn't realize how important that was going to be, because I did start to get burned out. Even like Built bars. I used to eat a Built bar every day. I used to eat one of those Jimmy Dean's egg cups every day. I got so burned out of those different things, and realized that I could start to mix things up, and it would just keep things interesting and keep me on track. So I would say definitely try to find the things that work for you. Definitely find like your staple items. And of course, if you want to have a meal every day that works for you, if you have the same lunch every day and that's really what works for you and you look forward to it, that's totally fine. Honestly, it got that way with like my protein coffee. I haven't gotten sick of those, and I've still made them the same for 3.5 years now. So there are some things that I keep the same, but also a lot of things that I like to mix up so that it keeps me interested and it keeps me on track, looking forward to my next meal or something like that. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to share that I wish I knew before I started my weight loss journey, something I talk about a lot on my channel, but it's just realizing that weight and the number on the scale is not everything. And I have been, and I know everybody is self-conscious of their weight, but I've been so self-conscious about my weight. I remember specifically hitting 200 pounds. I remember hitting 215 pounds when I was in college. And then when I got on the scale and hit 252 when I was out of school, it really did get to me. And I just wanted to get to the number that was on my license, which was 170, which that was my weight in high school. And I had just picked it when I started WW just kind of as like a guess, like, okay, maybe that's a healthy weight for me. To this day, I still haven't gotten down to 170 at all. I got down to 180 and maybe like 178 at a few points, but now I'm back up to 190 and it is totally fine. It doesn't matter. My body is so much more toned and strong than it was 2 years ago when I weighed 180 pounds. And I can show you guys pictures. I post them on my Instagram all the time because it really does help even me to see that weight isn't everything. And especially when you incorporate resistance training and weightlifting, it's gonna make a difference because muscle takes up less space than fat. So even if you weigh more and you have more muscle, you will look smaller. And I've learned that through these pictures and taking a bunch of progress pictures. I'm actually really happy that I did start taking progress pictures from the start. I wish I would have taken like measurements and stuff like that. I still haven't even started to take measurements. I probably should, but at this point I feel like it's just too late. But I think that having different ways to not focus so much on the scale to see your progress is so important. And I learned that right away. Honestly, I was lucky, I guess, and I did have a lot of success with the scale throughout the first like few months, and honestly throughout the first 5 months I lost 50 pounds. So I really did have good success with the scale, but then it started to plateau, especially when I started to lift weights, and that's when I really had to learn, okay, the scale is not everything, and I need to focus on how I feel, how my clothes feel, how strong I am, and everything like that. So knowing that and knowing that the weight doesn't matter. Like, of course, it's a good way to measure your progress, but especially when you are building muscle and stuff like that, you cannot depend on that number and get caught up on it, because it really, really got to me when I first started letting it affect me. And then I had to realize, okay, no, I'm still making progress. I'm still doing the right things. And that number isn't everything. And honestly, in the beginning, I kind of had a hard time just sharing my weight. There's so many times where people tell me I don't look like I weigh what I weigh. And I'm not lying. Like, I weigh 190 pounds. That is what I weigh. I'm 6 feet tall. It feels like people think that I can't be healthy at 190 pounds. Like, it just sounds like it's a high weight and I'm not healthy at it, but I'm actually the healthiest I've ever been. And so I know sometimes people just are confused because I'm taller and they say like, there's no way you're 190 or even 180 when I was. That is my weight, and it is not everything. It doesn't mean everything. It doesn't tell the whole story. So learning that and kind of taking that pressure off myself really helped me on my weight loss and maintenance journey. And it's something still, I have to use progress pictures. I have to use clothes and all that type of stuff to keep me motivated instead of the number on the scale. That wraps it up for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful. These are just a few of the things that I've learned along the way that I didn't expect when I started my weight loss journey. It's really changed my perspective on things, about my health and my future. And yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. So if you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.